We're gonna hope he can edit that. I'm pretty sure he can.
Why not? You got that on there? Probably should edit that too.
All right, I think that'll work. All right. Okay. We'll be able to, Brian, I hope you can edit this out. Because you're the edit. You should have, okay. Alright, so we're going to go probably, I don't know, we'll go 20, 30 minutes. It won't be too long. But I'm just going to ask you questions about, you know, your career, how you got there, things like that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Alright. So we're going to go, we'll go give it a 5 count and we'll start. What's up, everybody? Welcome to TV Talks and VS Walks. This is episode number 10, which means it's a special episode. We're doing this live video right now. It actually won't be live by the time that you watch it, but we're doing a live video. We have a guest on the show today, as promised. I told you guys we were trying to get a guest on, but we were trying to get everything meshed up with our schedules. So I finally got 20 minutes or so to sit down and talk to him. I'm here with Matt Yockey, and Matt Yockey is the PGA head professional at the golf course here in Bolivar, Missouri. And Matt is also the guy that runs our Twitter page for us. So, Matt, how's it going, man?
Not too bad, you?
It's going well. So, kind of wanted to bring you on the show today. I wanted to talk to you about your career and how that you got there, because you weren't always a golfer.
No.
If I'm not mistaken, correct?
Definitely not.
When did you start, I mean, when did you take up golf? When did you decide that you wanted to start playing?
Oh, let's see. I was 23. I was in college for 3 years. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I was going for physical therapy, and I was sitting in a chemistry class, and I remember all I could think about was how I wanted to teach golf. And so I switched the next semester to become a teacher, and I was going to work on being a coach. And then I realized in that semester that is not really what I want to do. I just want to teach the game, nothing else. And so I left college that year and never looked back.
So you dropped out of college to play golf?
Yeah.
So you're more focused on, as you said, the teaching aspect versus playing professionally?
Oh, yeah. And technically, I'm just a PGA Apprentice, still in the program.
Okay. So what are the levels, I mean, of that? Are you, I mean, how do you get started in becoming an apprentice? I mean, how does that happen?
Pretty much like anything, you got to fill out an application. You do a background check. They want to see, they call people and talk about you, ask about your history. And then they approve you to take a test. And so you pay something like $300 and get 3 books into the intro to golf, the rules of golf, and the history of golf. And you study those, go take a test at one of the PSI testing centers, which is in Aurora. And if you pass them, 70% or higher, you get to acceptance into the program.
So what's the test based on? Is it, I mean, just those 3 books, the history of golf, golf rules, things of that nature?
Essentially what I was told by the guys in Florida at the testing center is this is to weed out the people that really don't want to do it. It's called level 0, and if you're not interested in that, you're not going to want to finish the program. So that weeds out basically half the students that apply. And then if you get accepted there, if you pass that test, you go on to level 1. There's 3 levels from there. That's $500 to get your book, 5 different books, $100 a book. Study those again. Then you $2,000 to go to Florida, and that's pretty sweet. You get to learn at the PGA Education Learning Center in Palm Springs, Florida, for a week. That was a phenomenal experience. And then from there, once you finish that, you do a massively long. I probably have 100 hours in my portfolio. Then you take 5 tests, and then you go to level 2, and the same thing in level 2, and then same thing in level 3. Costs about $15,000 by the time you're done.
So how much have you, so what level are you now?
I'm trying to get in level 2.
Level 2. So, but you have to finish the whole program before you become a pro?
Yep.
So you're an apprentice through up to that point.
Yeah.
So now I know For those of you guys that don't know, Matt and I are friends in our personal lives as well. So I've kind of been following your journey, but I know now you're trying to take your player's ability test, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So what happens once you pass that?
Never have to take it again. 36 holes in one day. You got to shoot a certain score. I've never had any real golf competition, and like I said, I just started golf at 23. I'm 31, and so it's been difficult having the mental side of it. Coming down to the last 3 holes, last 5 holes, I 3-putted to miss it by 3 strokes.
That's got to be
last 5 holes.
That's got to be
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At which point did you decide any of that ever made you feel like that you didn't want to do this anymore?
The very first time I felt it did.
When you failed the test for the first time, you didn't want to you didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, the first time I felt miserably. I just come off a tendon tear playing golf, and I just got the doctor just released me about a month before that. I was gonna cancel it. My buddy said, "No, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. At least get the experience." And I played awful, and I thought, "Man, I don't want to do this no more." I was defeated, deflated.
Some people have the natural ability to play golf. Now, golf is one of those things. Correct me if I'm wrong, but golf is one of those that there's always something to tweak or to change. I mean, even the most minute thing can
Make a world of difference.
Yeah, but you were one of those people that, I mean, you never really took that many lessons, did you?
When I first started, I didn't. I took quite a bit of lessons my second and third year.
Did you? Well, I've been on the golf course a few times with Matt, and it makes me hate the game even more. Just because I don't like losing. So you're in the and now you are the manager also of the city course, correct?
Yep.
And you have changed a lot of things. I remember I played the golf course a couple times, several years ago, and I know that you've made a lot of changes in the golf course since you've been there. You got them to, they weren't with the PGA Apprentice program or anything. They didn't have anybody involved in that, did they?
No. I got them to agree to pay for my schooling, which is huge. So they're paying the way for that.
They paid your way to Florida, correct?
Yeah, they're paying every bit of it. I got them. We don't host the course wasn't hosting any tournaments. We're up to close to 20 tournaments now.
Is that yearly?
Yeah. We don't do a lot. Small 9-hole city course, by the way. We had about 80 members. So, like I said, when I got there, they weren't hosting any tournaments, no men's league, nothing. We've got a ladies' league. We've got, working on men's league this year. We got 18 tournaments, going on 20. Several different fundraisers that raise up to $2,500 for, the Veterans Home. I think they raised almost $3,000 last year for the Veterans Home. A lot of good things going on. They dropped $50,000 on new golf carts 2 years ago, so it's going good.
How's the things that you're doing, has that increased revenue for the golf course? I mean, by having the tournaments?
Still not making money, but we've increased almost $90,000.
Now, you do not have to be a member to play the course?
No, public.
So what's your fees? If anybody up the street wants to come play, 9 holes, 18 holes, what's your fees?
Right now we're running winner rates, so it's 2 players, 9 holes in a cart, $20, and $20 a person for 18. But typically it's $17 a player, 9 holes, and $25 for 18.
Is that with a cart?
With cart.
Okay. You guys just recently, did you get into selling some clothing, clubs, things of that nature?
We just got an accusing account for Titleist and FootJoy. And so we can now offer anything Titleist or FootJoy offer: clothing, balls, clubs, everything, bags, accessories.
Do you guys do custom fitting for clubs?
Not yet. We don't have the custom fitting tray. I don't know if we'll be able to do that or not. Since it's a smaller course, I don't think we'll have the demand for it.
Well, I think that's awesome. Everything that you have done with the course. Seeing the change. I mean, even from the course itself to the pro shop. I mean, everything's changed considerably. Since you've been there. Now, when's the next time you haven't passed your ability test yet? When's the next time you're taking that?
I was gonna take it about 2 months ago, and I slipped a disc in my lower back, and was recommended by my physical therapist not to do it. So it'll be probably March or April.
And is that here
2018.
locally?
It'll be in Springfield.
At which course?
Highland Springs.
Okay.
Golf.
Is that where they have a web.com event there?
Yeah, the Price Cutter Charity Championship.
Okay. So if somebody, and I always like talking to people that are in a different realm than I am, and this podcast is something that we started, a couple of months ago. Brian, as you know, I just decided that we wanted to do this, and we didn't necessarily want to make any money doing it, but I mean, as anything I think goes, we would like for it to balloon out. So we decided we were going to do a segment to where, we would interview local celebrities in the area that do different things. And so I think golf is something that, there's a lot of demand out there, especially for younger people to play. So if somebody wanted to get started in golf, I mean, is there a certain age that you would recommend, them getting started?
5 or 6.
So young.
Yeah. No sooner than that. Just the attention span's so short for kids, even 5-year-olds sometimes. I've given a ton of lessons to 2 twins. They started at 5, and I maybe could get 15 minutes of concentration out of them. After that, we just goofed off and had fun. We take frisbees and throw them around to each other. Just keep them so that way when they come to the golf course, they just remember as a kid, well, I had a lot of fun when I was there, even if they weren't golfing the entire time. So they associate golf with fun.
So you're already giving lessons now.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to contact you for lessons, give us your information. Do you have an email, or how do they contact you?
Yeah, golf@bolivar.mo.us is my email. The phone number at the course is 417-326-6600. You can call it. If we don't answer during the winter time, we're open all year if it's above 40 degrees. So not there today. Kind of nice to have a day off, but leave a message. I'll call you back as soon as I see it.
And what's your prices for lessons? You give an hour lesson, 30 minutes?
I prefer an hour. 30 minutes is kind of putting half a Band-Aid on. It doesn't quite fully apply. So I prefer an hour, but it's $20 an hour for an adult. And then certain age groups, I run 5-year-olds to 10. I think I'm just doing $15.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's how many students you have right now?
At the moment, none. It's winter. But I don't know. I'd say at any given time, not a lot, probably about 20.
Well, you're just now getting the ball rolling. I think Bolivar is, of course, there's Siler Ridges here also, so I think you have some competition with them, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got to say a big shout out to Brian Daniels at Silo. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. So.
Is he the one that got you started in golf?
He's the guy that taught me how to play and coached me all the way through to this point. So.
Well, we need some sponsorships for the show, so if Siler Ridge wants to sponsor our show, I'd be okay with that.
That's right.
And as I said before, Matt also runs our Twitter page, and I said we're going to do a contest if we can hit 100 likes, 100 follows on Twitter. We're currently at about 7, so we've got a ways to go. Now, I did want to take a minute. Matt also is an avid gamer. Brian and I like to play games. Obviously, Brian has his Brian's Moments segment in the show. Let me preface by saying why Brian is not here. Brian is not here for this show because he lives in New Mexico, and Matt and I live about 30 minutes apart, so it's easier for us to get together and do this kind of thing. Brian decided to get married and moved away to New Mexico. So, but the three of us, it was all the Walmart family. We make mention in our first couple episodes that Brian and I worked at Walmart. Matt was also a part of that. So that's how we all met and all became friends. So it's a big, happy Walmart family. None of us are at Walmart anymore, but so that's why Brian's not here. But hopefully we can get a live video cast soon via Skype, maybe where we can all kind of get together and you can see both of our ugly mugs at the same time. So this is what you get. So Matt, let's talk a little bit about video games. What kind of games are you playing right now?
Fortnite, Rocket League.
So, okay, I am a Rocket League fan also. So let's talk about Fortnite. That's a game that's been out for Xbox. How long now? 6 months?
Fortnite?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Well,
inside 6 months, I'd say.
Inside 6 months. So they came out with the game, which I think is what, $39.99.
Yep.
So it's $40, but then they added the free Battle Royale PvP expansion. And is that all you're playing right now?
Wildlands with you guys.
Okay. So, what's your... I have a love-hate relationship with Fortnite. That relationship is, it's a fun game, but I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
We were actually just playing a couple matches before this interview, and I died within 5 minutes. So...
I do that a lot, too.
Christmas is coming up, so is there anything, any games out there that have your recommendation if anybody's looking for games to play? Anything you recommend that you have played?
Definitely Fortnite. Definitely. PUBG's coming out, what, Tuesday?
Yep, 12th.
I'm kind of excited about that.
Players
we'll
Unknown.
be playing that.
Yep.
We probably could get some gamer tags if people want to play with us.
You want to do that? Let's go do that. You can find me on Xbox at Weeksman87. And Matt also plays Xbox as
Slayer189.
Slayer189. Is that a Halo reference?
No, I don't know why. I've always, for years, used Slayer. And then the 189 part was a goof up. If anybody remembers PlayStation Twisted Metal, the company was actually 989 Studios. And when I made that Xbox account, years later, obviously, I was thinking it was 189. And so I created it only to find out 5 years after I've had that name that it was actually 989. And I'm like, well, I can't change it.
So it was a typo and you just kept it.
Yep, I couldn't change it.
There's actually a YouTuber that I watch. It goes by Boogie2988. And if you haven't checked him out, you should definitely check him out. He's a hilarious guy. Twitch streamer, YouTube phenomenon. But I saw one of his videos where someone asked him, where does the name Boogie2988 come from? And he was a Magic player, Magic the Gathering, the card game. And he said that he was playing, and he actually had a booger that was hanging out of his nose. And so one of the fellow players said, Boogie. And so he got the booger out of his nose, but everybody just started calling him Boogie. And so that kind of stuck. So I said, well, where does the 2988 come from? And when he made his account, it randomly generated a number. And it was 2988. And so it's kind of the same thing. Yours was a typo, but just those randomly generated. My 87 actually has a meaning. I'll let you guys figure out what the meaning is. No, it's when I was born. So, yeah, find us on Xbox if you have it. All of us are playing Fortnite right now. We bounce back and forth between that, Rocket League, Ghost Recon Wildlands, PUBG's coming out the 12th. I think we're going to play that. As we mentioned, Brian has a Twitch channel, Code Riley Gaming. He plays all sorts of things. He does Warframe Wednesdays. He does Roulette Monday, where I think he plays a whole handful of games, an hour apiece, just kind of shuffles through. And then him and I are also doing a Gears of War stream. Also, we're trying to get through the entire series of that. Matt, I appreciate your time, man. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got things to do on your day off today, I'm sure.
Fortnite.
But we definitely wanted to get you on the show and give some people an outlet, maybe if they were thinking about getting into golf or had questions on lessons, things like that. So give Matt a call at the golf course or shoot him an email, and he'll get you hooked up with some golf lessons. And good luck on your journey. I know you've got a ways to go, but I'm sure that it'll be well worth it once you get there. Before we wrap up, there's one thing I did want to talk, and I forgot about it until just now. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the return of the great Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting. A lot of people thought that he would fall flat on his face, and the first 2 days, he practically he was in the lead for a while, 9 under. Kind of fell short on Saturday, and was able to bounce back a little bit on Sunday. Obviously didn't get the win, but did crack the top 10.
So do you think that, real quick, do you think that, you stem back to, Tiger Woods, made his first golf shot on TV at, it was 6 or something? So do you think that, he had the allegations of the infidelity and all that stuff with his wife? Do you think that affected his golf game?
Yeah. I do. And then obviously, 5 back surgeries now?
Is that how many he said? I didn't know how many it was.
Oh, I think 5. So yeah, I believe that he was so mentally tough, and I think all the media distractions, and this is obviously my opinion, but all the media distractions, I believe, I don't know, I think it clouded that mentally toughness that he had in him, because nobody was mentally tough like him.
How long do you think before Tiger hangs it up? Do you think, is this his last hurrah?
If his back goes out again, I think he should quit.
I mean, obviously, safety, I think, it should be anybody's concern, especially if you're in golf. As you said, your physical therapist told you not to play for a while since you pulled a disc. And I know you had some issues with your thumb or a tendon in your hand, didn't you?
Yeah, I tore. That's what I mentioned earlier. I tore the tendon that runs from the thumb down to right here. And for a week, I couldn't even squeeze and turn a doorknob. And so I was out for 3 months, and then tried to do a player's test a month after, coming back. And it was almost a year to the day before I felt confident again to swing. I mean, even though I played, every time I swung, I worried, because I tell you what, it hurt. I felt like someone just took the thumb and ripped it right off.
Mm. I'd come from a musical background, and fortunately, I've never had any, major injuries. I broke my wrist in 8th grade. Only sport I ever did in high school was wrestling. I did it 7th and 8th grade, and then freshman year. And so I broke my wrist in the 8th grade, and that I'm a drummer, so that kind of hindered my drum playing a little bit because I had a giant cast on my right wrist. But so is that healing now? I mean, did you pretty well recover for that?
It swells up all the time. It's still a little swollen right now. So
does the cold weather affect that? I mean, when it gets cold?
Yeah, I keep a magnet bracelet on it, and that really does help. At least mentally, feels better.
I understand. Well, guys, that's all we got time for today. Matt, thanks for being on the show.
When's the next recording going to happen?
Episode
20? 15? We might have to have someone sing on it.
We could do that. We might arrange that.
I'll just record. I ain't singing.
Matt Yagi, the PGA head professional with Bolivar Municipal Golf Course. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good day, y'all. We'll wrap it up for a minute. And I will edit it. Ryan, hope you can edit that.